Hey, if you're a woman who finds yourself getting irritated and annoyed by other people's behavior and it's wrecking your peace, you may have seen a recent post I did on how to work on having compassion for those people and trying to lean in and be curious about their experience and how that can free us up from the anger and irritability. And I think that's really important. And feel free to watch that video before you watch this if that's helpful. I want to call attention to a comment someone made that is super important. It's a great thing to think about. This person essentially said, like, yeah, I want to do that, but it's really hard when people are actively acting against other people's best interest or hurting other people. They're voting and hurting other people. And that's a legitimate concern because that's happening. It's happening right now all over the place. So I want to say, first of all, I don't support those policies that actively harm other humans. I don't think it's okay. Not at all. I vote against them. I write my representatives. I call them, I fax them, things like that. But what I will say is, as a therapist, as I've sat one on one with people who have different views than my own and even would vote for things that I think hurt people, a lot of times what I hear is that there can be fear there, but it can also be that people really think that what they believe is right. Like they really think that they're doing the right thing. They think, that what they've learned is the way to do it. And it's scary to think of anything else. Right. And so what I found that, because I'm their therapist, I can't be hateful towards them. It's as I lean in and get curious, I'm not okay with their decision. I'm not saying I in any way approve of maybe the way they vote that hurts others or behaviors they have, but I can start to have compassion and understand for how they got there. From that place of compassion, I'm able to then free my own energy up to lean in and get curious, maybe ask some questions that help them think about what they're doing in different ways from what they learned, right? I'm able to be more free to do the advocacy work that I do in a larger scale. I'm able to have that energy in circles where maybe I hear a comment that isn't okay. And I stand up and say, gosh, I'm really uncomfortable with what you just said. Tell me more about what's going on there instead of attacking people. And then that tends to be more productive. I'm in no way saying this is easy. And I'm in no way saying that at all times, every single one of us should be able to do this. As a woman, if I'm in the face of severe misogyny, that may not feel safe for me to stand up to. Sometimes it might, but sometimes not. But as a white person, if I'm around another white person saying something negative or just blatantly racist about a person of color, I feel comfortable standing up to that. Same with queer folks. If someone is ripping on someone who's transgender, gay, lesbian, whatever, I feel comfortable saying, like, hey, tell me about that. What makes you think that? Because the people I know are not like that at all. Right. None of this is easy. It doesn't have to be the work you do. But what I will find is that I have found a lot of peace and also wherewithal to help fix the problem when I try my best to have compassion and really understand other people's positions. It doesn't always work. There's certain people, like a couple big ones in the news lately, that it's particularly challenging, right? But I find that when we do that work, it seems to help more than hurt. I'd love to hear your comments. Please don't argue and be mean. But I'd love to have more conversation about this because I think this is an important conversation, especially if you're in the States right now. I think this is a huge problem in our nation is that, sometimes we struggle with what's unsafe versus what's uncomfortable. And we struggle with getting mad and angry and outraged and not having compassion. And I'm not saying that we have to do things any certain way, but sometimes I get curious about if we could make some of these shifts, if things might start to look different, even if a few of us just started doing it at a time.